And I think that's what I realized in preparing for today is as teenagers, if we have healthy engagement, especially us men, as younger men, we can learn a lot through trial and error as a teenager.
Yeah.
And then once you're in your 20s and 30s, you're better equipped of how to do things like date women and actually
deal with the
engage
ups and
with
downs.
them.
I think part of where you're going with that is just that it's easy now to kind of not deal with the downs, or to kind of easier to keep yourself out of situations that have to deal with the downs. And so you kind of in your mind, that naturally will have you build up more kind of an aversion to putting yourself in situations where there is a potential downside. And I don't want to romanticize the past and like, oh yeah, everybody was super social and engaged. But I do think the idea of options plays a big role in it. And like just your example, you talk about put 15 teenagers or so in a room together. And yeah, I think the phones play a big deal with that, because I remember, and this is something I observed myself, and then seeing just different scenarios, the phone always gives people an option. This happens on dates, like stuff like that. That gives you an option of something else to do besides what's in front of you. And it's almost like a socially acceptable option. Like people don't look at you like, why do you have your phone out? They're like, oh, okay, yeah, people are just sitting there on their phones. And so the option, like if you're sitting in a room with 15 people and there's no other choice, then eventually you're going to start trying to interact with people just because there's nothing else to do. Otherwise, you're just standing there. And so the idea to not just stand there is like, okay, well, I can either stand here and do nothing, or I can try to spark up a conversation, versus I can sit here and be imminently entertained on my phone, or I can take a risk to try to talk to somebody. It changes the calculation completely.
Well, and that's a good point, James. The phone, I think with some of the people, it's less even about being entertained. It's the convenient comfort of not having to take the risk. It's better to be down on your phone like this, because then I don't have to worry about
It's a safe space.